singles match and is scheduled for one fall. Introducing first. And his opponent.
Too quiet. I don't like it.
There's the bell. The Man of Steel, Chris Steeler, going toe-to-toe, one-on-one with wrestling's it factor, Bobby Roode. Now, Chris, I know you've been doing your research on this one. I know you've been studying the books, maybe the internet. But tell me a little bit, for those who don't know about Bobby Roode.
Well, Bobby Roode, known largely for his time in TNA, Total Nonstop Action Wrestling, two-time NWA World Tag Team Champion with Eric Young, two-time TNA World Heavyweight Champion. He won the TNA King of the Mountain Championship. He's the current champion. TNA World Tag Team Championship 5 times, 4 with James Storm, 1 with Austin Aries. TNA Tag Team Championship Series winner 2010 with James Storm. Bound for Glory Series Champion 2011. The list goes on and on, Bob.
Goes on, and he is going, as Chris Steeler just said, this is his house, defending Warriors of Wrestling here. Chris Steeler, the Man of Steel, wrestling's only Man of Steel, going toe-to-toe with the it factor here.
Also, Pro Wrestling
year anniversary at Warriors of Wrestling.
Pro Wrestling Illustrated Tag Team of the Year with James Storm 2008 and 2011. But Bobby Roode has, over the years, turned into a tremendous singles competitor.
And here he is, one-on-one with Chris Steeler. Just a little bit of feeling each other out, a little bit of mat wrestling, seeing jockeying for position very early in this match. Of course, going for smart move by Chris Steeler there. You saw grabbing his leg to prevent Bobby Roode from kicking out of this head scissors. Making him fight tooth and nail, everything, not giving him an inch here. Bobby Roode bridging his way out, a beautiful bridge there.
We talk about veterans, Bobby. Chris Steeler in this business for 14 years now. He's no stranger to the wrestling business himself.
Former Warriors of Wrestling heavyweight champion as well. One of the longest running heavyweight champions in Warriors of Wrestling history. Great show of respect there. Now let's see some wrestling from these two. Almost, I would say, Bobby Roode with the international experience here. Chris Steeler, no slouch when it comes to pro wrestling either. Slight advantage to Bobby Roode.
Well, Bobby Roode's been in the ring with some of the greats, Bobby.
Absolutely. Chris Steeler as well, during his reign as Warriors of Wrestling heavyweight champion.
Ooh.
And elsewhere, both in the ring with greats as well. What's he going for here? But Bobby Roode rolls away.
That's the wrestling IQ of Bobby Roode. Steeler had him for a move, and Bobby Roode rolled right out.
A smart move by Bobby Roode. Chris Steeler.
That's respect.
Well, it's respect, but also a little bit of show, maybe some disrespect there as well. Bobby Roode step through the ropes here. You'd expect something dirty from a man like Darius Carter, but not Chris Steeler here. A second shake of the hands.
What I'm talking about, Bobby, respect.
Have to think how important a match like this is at the 8-year anniversary of Warriors of Wrestling for Chris Steeler. Going toe-to-toe with a competitor like Bobby Roode, how important this match is to him. To not only be in the ring with Bobby Roode and fight for Warriors of Wrestling, but also the 8-year anniversary here at Warriors of Wrestling. Chris Steeler, an important part of this company. Bobby Roode, an important part of TNA. Oh. Goes for maybe a crossface, but instead Chris Steeler this time, the one taking a little powder.
Well, you got two guys in the ring, very smart. They're great wrestlers. This is why they're shaping up to be a really good match. And as you said, Bobby, hey, this is almost like TNA versus Warriors of Wrestling. Bobby Roode in TNA for so many years, and Chris Steeler here with Warriors of Wrestling.
And now, Chris Steeler stepping through the ropes, being held by Bobby Roode. We're still essentially a tie game. That's shaking. Oh, it couldn't last forever, I'll say that much. Respect usually does in a wrestling ring. Bobby Roode taking the opportunity with Chris Steeler, breaking that trust that they had established early in this match.
Bobby Roode showing why he is the it factor in professional wrestling.
That knee to Chris Steeler's back. Chris Steeler now cut down. Ooh. Maybe going later, trying to hit that super kick. We've seen him win so many matches with. A little bit of a quiet falling over the crowd as Chris Steeler's house, essentially this house, Chris Steeler's house, is in a bad way right now. So this is only a 2.
But now Bobby Roode is methodically picking apart now Chris Steeler.
Chris Steeler, Bobby Roode taunting him with that "Whose House" chant. Chris Steeler fighting back best he can right now, trying to gain composure. Bobby Roode stalks him from the center of the ring.
The Steeler's finding out the hard way why Bobby Roode is one of TNA's top talents.
One of the top talents in professional wrestling today, I'll say that much. Vicious knee to the midsection there. Intelligently targeting the midsection with, draping him over the top rope. And 2 and 3, no, only a 2. Stays right on him, working that core, that midsection there.
This is vintage Bobby Roode.
You know, not only targeting the muscles in the core there, but also driving the air out of him as well.
Exactly. Very good point, Bobby.
Because long distance runners draw a lot of air from the stomach instead of the chest. And now, what we're seeing here, as the longer this match goes on, the more Chris Steeler is going to have to draw from that endurance that he has. But without the ability to draw in more air, Bobby Roode is effectively cutting that off.
And Bobby Roode with legs like tree trunks. That's a big factor as well. He's taking it to Steeler.
I've rarely seen Chris Steeler dominated like this.
Well, there's no doubt about it. Bobby Roode he's the definition of a professional wrestler. And so is Steeler.
And Chris Steeler fighting back now. Using support from the Warrior Faithful. Breaking that hold, but only momentarily, as Bobby Roode then has momentum on his side.
The first time Bobby Roode said that.
Manhattan drop from Chris Steeler. A fist to the forehead. Downs, there it is, a kick to the midsection. Knee to the face. Finishes up with a Russian leg sweep. This could be all, could be in that. Spoke too soon. A near victory for Chris Steeler.
It's be a big win for Chris.
And eats the elbow from Bobby Roode. Blockbuster from Bobby Roode to Chris Steeler. This could be all she wrote for Chris Steeler now. Only a 2. I don't know, I'll be honest, I don't know if Chris Steeler kicked out of that. May still be essentially out on his feet or out on his knees at the moment.
I think he did just enough there to get out of it, but you're right, he is reeling right now. Roode taking it to him.
Going for a fisherman suplex, but Chris Steeler managed to fight out. Maybe going for that super kick, but instead eats a boot to the midsection.
Oh, here we go.
Chris Steeler fights out. Quick roll up 1. This could be all for Chris. Could have been all. Huge super kick. All you've got to do, Steeler. This could be all for Bobby Roode.
Roode's not going down that easy.
Inches, centimeters, millimeters away from a victory for Chris Steeler here.
Couldn't get any closer than that.
Absolutely not. Calling for support from the Warriors Faithful here. Now Chris Steeler is the one stalking Bobby Roode. Roode is struggling to get to his feet. Almost has him, but Enziguri from Bobby Roode. Chris Steeler. There it is.
It's over.
Chris Steeler says no.
Bobby Roode can't believe it. I can't believe it.
Confirmed by referee Blaney. That's only a 2 count. You have to figure, what does Bobby Roode have to do to get a victory here over Wrestling's Man of Steel?
Again, he's been around not only TNA, Border City Wrestling, Atlanta's Coast Wrestling, NWA Shockwave. He's been around Primetime Wrestling. He knows his way around a wrestling ring. He's been around all these companies. He knows how to win these matches. But so far, Chris Steeler, he's giving it to him.
Chris Steeler with a foot on the rope. Bobby Roode has only a 5 to break that hold.
And he's shaking his head. He's shaking his head, saying in his mind, what do I got to do to beat this guy?
I'll be honest, I'm not even sure what Bobby Roode can do to defeat Chris Steeler at this point.
And that's what makes for a very interesting wrestling match. You don't know what's going to happen. You don't know how they're going to win. Who's going to win? What do they have to do?
Oh, Bobby Roode declaring this is his house. I beg to differ.
Big Bobby Roode fan, but I think he's wrong on that one.
Oh, big spine buster by Chris Steeler. This could be all.
And it's Bobby Roode who has used that spine buster a lot over the years. And he almost got beat with it.
Chris Steeler's calling for another super kick here. Rallying the Warriors of Wrestling crowd.
Could be that super Steeler kick.
Bobby Roode ducks the kick, and instead, from Toronto, Canada, locks in the sharpshooter.
Shades of Bret Hart.
Looks like he may not have it locked in perfectly, but it certainly is doing the damage to Chris Steeler's legs, knees, and lower back. Chris Steeler almost making it to the ropes, but instead now,
Crossface
by Bobby Roode. Chris Steeler fighting with whatever he has left to get to those ropes, fighting to break this hold.
And that's the technical wrestling experience and also the great submission experience that Bobby Roode has. Submission expert.
Referee Blaney right in position. To Chris Steeler, turns into a pin. Oh, wait a second, whoa.
Wait a minute
here.
Whoa.
Waiting for referee's decision.
Wait, did Bobby Roode steal one?
Absolutely, Bobby Roode steals one from Chris Steeler here at Warriors of Wrestling's 8-year anniversary.
That's the experience.